Welcome aboard for another episode of The Refined Savage. We are doing 2 this week. We are starting to loosen up from this quarantine and be able to get more people on the show. And this was one we recorded during the quarantine. So now that gyms are at least back open in Ohio, this was a good one for you. And we talked a little bit about the quarantine and about COVID. And so if you're wondering why we're talking about things that happened during the quarantine, now you know. Viking coffee. Let's talk about Viking coffee. Evan Armstrong's brand, Viking coffee, the best stuff in the game. I drink it every day. It is my favorite. Store-bought coffee is absolute garbage. You don't want to drink that stuff. Trust me when I tell you this is the best stuff out there. VikingCoffeeCo.com. Use the code VikingCoffee10 at checkout for 10% off. Cerberus. Cerberus has everything you need for your strength journey, whether you're a powerlifter, strongman, Highland Games athlete. You got to support these companies that support us, guys, and athletes supporting athletes. And Ken, the owner at Cerberus, is a fantastic human being and a strength athlete in his own right. If you need anything, buy from Cerberus. Sandbags, smelling salts, belts, straps, wraps, t-shirts. Cerberus has it all. Check them out at cerberus-strength.us. Use the code REFINEDSAVAGE10 at checkout for 10% off. Warrior CBD. I am a big believer in CBD. It really is a game changer as far as inflammation, anxiety, sleep. It's just the best out there. If you've got aches and pains, try their roll-on. It's amazing. Warrior CBD, created by jiu-jitsu and judo and MMA fighters. Those guys get beat up more than anybody, and I tell you, this stuff really works. Not all CBD oil is created equal, I will say that. Warrior CBD is the best stuff I've found. And that's why I love them on the show. WarriorCBDofficial.com. Use the code WARRIOR20 off at checkout. Serious Steel. Serious Steel has everything you need to outfit your home gym, your commercial gym, your CrossFit box, your college gym, your high school gym, whatever you need. Serious Steel has it. Check them out before you go anywhere else to buy equipment. Check them out, SeriousSteel.com. Use the code SAVAGE at checkout for 10% off. The best products, the best customer service. I love these guys. Stay Classy Meats, straight out of Bozeman, Montana. Stay Classy Meats. They have small batch farms. We know where these animals are coming from. We know how they're raised. We know how they're processed. No hormones, no antibiotics, just fresh Montana grasses and streams. Makes a difference in how these animals live. Makes a difference in how they taste. It is amazing. Don't worry about a meat shortage. Have Stay Classy Meats deliver meat directly to your home, and you will save money in the process. Check them out at stayclassymeats.com. Use the code SAVAGE at checkout for 10% off. And finally today, the Breath Belt. I don't know, guys. I don't know how it works. If you get a hold of Jesse at the Breath Belt, he will probably tell you. I don't know how it works. I just know it does work. And we are trying it in more and more situations, playing with it, seeing if it works here, see if it works there. I love it when I get into my heavy kettlebell stuff. I love it when I squat and deadlift too. Another thing you can do is wear the Breath Belt with a power belt over it. Talk about double support. It's amazing. Give them a holler at thebreathbelt.com. Use the code SAVAGE20 at checkout. All caps, SAVAGE20 at checkout. Today on the show, 2 of my favorite humans on the planet, Shane Rickman, Shawn Schumaker. One guy's gym is open. The other guy's gym isn't. We're still pulling for you guys in Michigan. Check this interview out. It's always great to have these 2 guys on the show, and it was a lot of fun. Loved the interview. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and we'll see you at the end. Shawn Schumaker, Shane Rickman. We are social distancing, more or less, here for this podcast. What's going on, guys?
Just still doing the exact same thing I was doing last time.
Yeah.
I was here really kind of hoping that we get to open up. I just have no idea how that's going to go, but
yeah, this is April 21st. They're telling us May 1st. Are they saying the same thing in Michigan, May 1st?
As of now, yep.
That's Trump's guidelines. They're just going by so they can all blame it on him when it goes to shit.
But Governor Whitmer in Michigan and Trump are
Whitmer's been in for a long time, hasn't he?
banging. It's a female.
Yeah.
And they're banging heads, so.
Yeah, you guys got all kinds of messes going on over there.
Why are they banging heads? What's her story?
She did something to delay some masks and stuff coming, and didn't put in for the relief fund soon enough, and then Trump tweeted something about that woman in Michigan, is what he referred to her as, and so now all the people in Michigan are upset and angry, and went to the Capitol They did an Operation Gridlock where they just wanted to gridlock the streets in Lansing, and it was pretty messy.
Yeah, it's I mean, all that same stuff's going here. We were talking about before you got here, Shawn, about the Facebook chat rooms or whatever they're called, the groups where people are bitching about being locked down. But like you said, I'm kind of in the middle. I go back and forth every day on this shit.
I do too, actually.
Yeah, I was talking to, and I have, well, you probably do too. I have, I get it from both sides because Erin's at home and she's adamant about, we have to lock down, we have to be precautions, yada, yada, yada. And then, so we got into a couple conversations that got a little bit heated because I'm like, I understand all that, but, I got to get back to work. We got to get back to doing this shit. We got to reopen the country. This isn't seemingly as bad as they were making it out to be. And, but I just kind of made the point where I wasn't going to say anything else, just she's in the middle of this. So we're driving the other day and she brings up a point about people protesting. And yeah, when you're standing 2 feet from each other on the Capitol steps doing that, but I'm like, you have to kind of I'm thinking to myself, you kind of have to let these people protest because, this is the point where the government comes in and does all sorts of shady shit when you're not looking. And she kept pushing me. And finally, I got mad, started saying, well, yeah, I do disagree with you on a lot of things because these people have, the rights to do that. And if you just let them push you around. And so I try to keep my mouth shut as much as possible. But, there's both sides to this. If you're in the medical field, you got to see the other side of it. Yeah. So what's been going on with you since they closed you down? What have you been up to?
I've been out of work since March 12th.
In the other job too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ford closed down. March 12th was our last day. So I've just been staying busy. I've been with my company. I'm a contract employee. I'm not a Ford employee, but I've been there 14 years, so I've got tons of vacation time, and they're still paying us full pay. I've put in 5 vacation days that I've used so far, and I'm on call using my quote fingers is what they told me. So as of now, I'm still getting paid.
But you're burning vacation time to do it.
Yeah, 5. Well, I've got 25 after.
Right.
So, and I'm just getting a bunch of stuff done around the gym and all the things that I said. Oh, if I had time, I'd do this, and fix this, and clean this, and
we by the time this comes out, hopefully everything will be taken care of. But we're looking at a new building and in a little better area. And then that's why we're streamlining everything, we're taking out everything that we don't use, those stones you guys are getting today, no one in my gym can lift, you guys have meatheads that can probably lift those things, so they've just been sitting on the ground, so I figured I might as well get rid of them, but.
I have picked up a lot of business with all the Apollo stuff.
Yeah.
That I had laying around. I threw a bunch of that on Facebook Marketplace. And
what kind of stuff are they buying?
So I sold a frame, the wagon wheel. I still had all those wagon wheels left over from Nationals.
Yeah.
I sold frame, wagon wheels, farmers, a couple yokes.
Yeah. Your yokes, so you own Apollo, which makes what kind of stuff do you make?
We started off with circus dumbbells and logs, which I didn't want to be a Titan. We wanted big bulletproof logs. So
right.
But that comes with a cost, right? So
sure.
Our logs were $700, our 12-inch logs, and $550 for the 10-inch, which sticker shock, everybody freaks out. So we sold about 10 of those, but we took them down to Indiana Strongest 2 weeks, probably a month ago now, and there was a guy going for a 400-pound press. They had no mats on the floor and kept dropping it, and the announcer kept going, well, there's a testament to this equipment. I'm in the guy rack position to get it quarter of the way up, and I was staying there with my hands on my head. And I would look at it every time, like, all right, it's so good.
Yeah.
So
they're really nice logs, though.
Yeah, we used them at your
Oh, yeah,
competition.
that's
That
right.
was awesome. It was the first
Yeah.
time I'd ever got my hands on one of them.
Like they have some weight to them, so like they clean nice and.
Yeah, they're 160 empty, so the clean is that's the feedback I've got from everybody.
They're 160 empty?
Yeah.
Jesus, good. Yeah, that because
Not good for Instagram, but it's good for.
Right.
It doesn't
It's
look
not.
good on the log, but.
Yeah, I remember doing I was just talking about this. I can't remember who. It was on our Facebook Live video they did about doing that Ohio Strongest Man years ago, and how I trained super hard for it, knowing that I was going to get my ass handed to me. But I just wanted to do it. It was fun. That was when I.
That was when the showdown was going to happen.
I was going to have the showdown with Darren
yeah.
Zola with
Yeah.
with the $100 bet versus his trophy he got for turning pro as a strongman. So that never came to fruition. I really wanted that to happen. Good stuff. Anyhow, when do you think that they're going to put strongman competitions back together?
That's a good question. When I signed up actually for the Outlaw show yesterday.
Yeah.
But I guess people aren't, since they, I can't think of the word I want.
So we
delayed it.
We postponed it. Right?
Yeah, they postponed it, and I got a spot.
Oh, that was the one.
That we're doing.
Yeah, okay. I forgot all about it.
I wasn't going to do it
Nothing
initially
going on.
because it was too soon. Like, we did the Strongman Games, and I was supposed to have the Arnold, and then it was
Yeah.
coming up. It had been coming up.
May
like,
16th.
Yeah, so I wanted to take an off season, but then I saw that it got postponed, and they said that not everybody signed up, so I jumped on that.
So when's
That
it
was in
now?
August.
August 22nd.
I think we'll be okay. What's the venue like?
It's outdoors,
Fuck.
parking lot. Yeah. So we, Aaron West does Michigan's Strongest Man every year.
Yeah.
First weekend of August. So
Frankenmuth. Yeah.
So that's probably going to be August 1st, I would assume.
Right.
And then George Bullard's doing Great Lakes Strongest Man up in Traverse City, the beginning of September. So we kind of split the date in between those two, so we didn't interfere with anybody.
Yeah, I had someone asking about our Highlander, and I'm like, man, to be honest with you, I haven't thought about it at all yet.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we'll still have it, but I haven't thought about it at all.
I assume an outdoor venue will be a little bit more lenient than.
Look, like we were talking about going back to jiu-jitsu, I think there's just going to have to be a point where you just trust it, and if you get sick, you get sick, you know? I mean, you try to make your immune system as hardy as possible, and there's just been so much misinformation. We were talking about, I don't know if either one of you saw the Rogan podcast when this first happened with the guy who wrote the book on pandemic diseases, but it was supposed to be this incredible information thing, and everyone was raving about it, including me, but he said on it that washing your hands isn't going to help you. It's good hygiene, but this is airborne, so it's not going to help you. That masks of any kind are not going to help. And now we're to the point where all that shit they're saying it does help. They were saying, don't saunas, that's not going to help you at all. They're saying if you heat up your body, that really helps. It doesn't do well under heat. And so all this shit that they were saying, ended up being bullshit, So I don't know where this ends up, but
yeah, I feel like there's got to be a time where it just kind of drops off. Like I don't see it just so slowly just like phasing out.
Right.
Like as planned. Like there has to be either it's gonna get really bad, or it's gonna just like, and then it's gonna be done.
Yeah.
Like, oh hey, remember there was a virus and it was killing people.
Yeah, right.
But I know they're doing a lot more of the antibody testing.
I tried to sign up for that because I thought I had it.
And they're finding a lot more people have had it, which in that Facebook group that we were talking about, they're screaming, don't get tested, because then that's just going to drive the total number of cases up, and then they think they're going to. But
true.
The other side of that is the more people who've had it, with less deaths is going to show up.
The percentage of deaths are going to drop.
Exactly. So
yeah.
We talked about it last time we were in here. I'd gone on a cruise right when it was supposedly hitting the United States. I think it was in here in October, November, but we went on a cruise, and on the cruise there's all these Chinese nationals that are like on vacation, and I come back and start getting sick, and normally if I get sick it's 24 hours and it's done, and I hadn't been sick in years, and this lasted about 5 days, and it wasn't like the sickest I'd ever been, but it just kept lingering and cough, and then I thought I was better, so I started swinging kettlebells and stuff again, and then a couple days later it came back, and antibiotics didn't help, and so I kind of think, but I've been trying to find a place that'll do the testing to see if you had it for antibodies, but I think you can sign up through the Red Cross and get on a waiting list. But
I know Michigan had announced a couple different locations that they were doing it.
yeah, I just want to know if I had it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the peak was way sooner than they thought it was.
It is funny with everybody's got masks and gloves, and I had to run to Meyer yesterday and get some paint, and I'd been grinding those plates, so just inhaling.
Oh yeah.
And I'm walking through Meyer and felt a sneeze coming. I'm like, no. This place will clear
Don't
out.
do it.
Oh yeah, 'cause you're gonna be looked
Right.
at. That guy, that Dave that was here, I was talking to him, and he has allergies really bad, and he's afraid to go anywhere to get allergy medication because he's be in the store coughing and sneezing. And, like, yeah, I went and got my allergy shot before all this happened because I'd be miserable right now if it wasn't for that. Get that every year. How's training going for you guys now that? I mean, are you allowed to go into your gym by yourself? I don't know what the rules
I
are.
believe so. I mean, because I don't know the rules, but I'm
Right.
assuming it's basically your private gym now.
Yeah.
You're the only one there,
Right.
so.
Yeah, so at first I was saying, man, I feel bad that I'm going in there and my people aren't
Yeah.
allowed to, and
Mm.
so I was going in just cleaning up, and then I'd, go and hit a set of something, and then I finally just said, what's the purpose of the place sitting here? You know,
Right.
Yeah.
we loaned
yeah.
out equipment to all of our members to kind of do their own thing, so
Mhm.
I've been going by myself without a spotter, so not going super heavy with
Yeah.
anything, but
Well, they never really went over any rules. Everyone thinks, that we got some official mandate from the state saying close down, or that we're going to get one saying reopen, but they never gave us anything. We all heard about this the same time everybody else did.
I'm curious if they have like the masks. So if they require masks, and people come into the gym and they don't have a mask on, like, are we required to give them a mask? Do we supply them with a mask since they have to come in with a mask?
To be honest with you, I think
Is everybody responsible for having their own mask? Like,
I think as a safety issue, they shouldn't be wearing masks anyhow. And
To work out?
Yeah, to work out.
yeah. I mean, there's that whole trying to
those
breathe.
elevation mask things will come back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So-
You stuff it with cotton.
That's people. I'm surprised they haven't tried to repackage them as some kind of safety device. It's funny. We had, with all the price gouging you see with all this equipment going on, because we've sold a ton of equipment that we're not using during this, but we kind of had this maybe moving thing in mind for a couple months before this started, and we're like, well, we'll start selling stuff, but I am very cautious not to be a price gouger. We had this one fucking clown. Do you remember the guy when I don't remember if it was interviewing you for the podcast or Kylie Ray Craig, but we went to the gym and he brought a bench from like Pittsburgh. This was years ago, but anyhow, he brought it to BSS.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he sends me a message back and he's like, hey man, I'm going nuts not training. Would you be willing to sell that bench back? And I was like, well, fuck yeah, because I was getting ready to sell it anyhow. And I said, what did I buy it from you for? And he was like, oh, $200. I said, okay. I said, well, how about $200 back? And he was like, yeah. He goes, would you break it down for me? I'll give you an extra $25. I'm like, well, I'm not very mechanical, but I'll break it down for you. So I broke it down. And for me, it took me fucking forever because I can't turn a wrench to save my life. So I break this thing down. He's giving me this sob story about how he has to, he's driving himself nuts, not training. He comes and picks it up. I make a special trip out here at night to get it. And I'm here every day, usually about 11. So it's like 7 o'clock at night. I'm already like 3 rums in. And he comes and gets it and leaves. The next fucking day, that motherfucker was selling it for $450 on Facebook.
Oh.
I said, dude, if you would have just told me, can I buy that bench back?
Yeah.
I would have been like, cool, I don't need to know your reasoning
without
behind
a reason,
this.
then it's,
What do I care? I would have been like, yeah, motherfucker, sell it. But I would have been, between me and him, it just would have been a funny joke. But to lie and say you were using it for your own purposes, that's
bad.
Like, what? It just brings the people out that you can't trust in a crisis,
I had all the Apollo stuff on Facebook Marketplace for quite a while. I had 5 or 6 different messages, people going, is that still the same price? And I just said, yeah. I'm not an asshole. I'm not going to jack everything up
Right.
just because They're like, oh, okay, and then they went and bought it. But
Just trying to get rid of it.
And then, like you and I spoke before, all the messages from people, hey, are you selling plates? Are you selling that? Like, people I don't know or people I haven't seen in years. And
yeah, I had people wanting to borrow shit they've never come in the gym. They've never supported us in any way, shape, or form. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Oh, fuck yourself, dude.
Yeah, I've had people try to borrow stuff that never came to the gym. I had people trying to let them sneak in.
Oh, I had a lot.
And I was like, dude, you're not even a member here.
Yeah.
Why would I let you sneak in? And then, like, yeah, but I lent out so much equipment. It's crazy. My gym's, like, empty right now.
Yeah, we had high school football teams wanting to come in and train between the time when the gyms were officially closed. The schools closed first, and then and they were like, I'm like, if you're gonna get in trouble. If I were to, first of all, I didn't know what was going on, so I didn't want to let like 40 kids in there who could all be contagious. Mm-hmm. But the other thing was, you're still going to get in trouble. You are doing an organized event. Now you're just doing it in my gym instead of yours. So I was like, no, we're not going to do that, guys. But
and they're all going to talk and put it on social media.
Sure. And the other thing is, all these high schools, they don't want to let their athletes train here because, who knows why. We'll give them steroids or something. That's always the line. You don't want to train there. Let them train there. But now we're okay to train it now that you don't have a space. But. Yeah, but I think this is going to change. I think you're going to see your first of the year influx as soon as this is done. Mm-hmm. Do you get that? You probably don't at all.
We don't really. We'll maybe get like 2 people.
That's what we get. Yeah,
that's about it. Yeah. We'll get like a handful of people to walk in and like look around, and then they never come back, and then we'll get like,
too expensive, too intimidating. Mm-hmm.
That's what I said. And all of our gyms are basically the same.
Yeah.
People usually walk in and they're holy shit, this is the greatest place I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Or where did I just come? Like where did I just
I don't
walk
belong
into?
here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing is we get so many like teachers and soccer moms in here that you'd think we would get more guys like me in here, but we don't. We get these tough broads who want to get in shape.
Yeah, we have teachers and nurses and soccer moms, and then we have like a handful of people that you would expect to be in there.
You were really changing stuff up before this, though, weren't you? It seemed like you were running more classes or something.
Yeah, we were pushing the classes a little bit more. Yeah. Trying to get more of your regular person in there because, there's, like, the people like us don't want to pay for a gym membership anyway.
No.
Like, you get powerlifters and stuff, and they get in there, and they're like, they want to see what they can get away with. Like, they usually, I don't know if it's different at your place, because you guys are mostly that, but, like, our place is, I can't.
Yeah.
So
we don't have any powerlifters or anything. So
I've got a couple without naming names who are bigger, pretty elite totals. That when I told them how much, like they were almost appalled that I was going to charge them.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, who are you? Like just because you lift a lot doesn't mean. Yeah.
I said my gym's full anyways. You being here isn't going to bring in any more revenue to me whatsoever.
Yeah, I had a kid one time in here who. Was coming in during the open gyms on Sundays, and I just have a girl working here. She doesn't know who's a member, who's not. So this guy was coming in every Sunday working out, and I saw a picture, and he was in there working out, and I'm like, hey, you're not a member. And he's like, oh, but you know what? I promote your gym all the time. It's on Facebook. I'm like, get the fuck out of my gym. What are you, crazy? I got no waiver on this guy. I've got nothing, but he's promoting it.
How do you even feel right about doing that? Like, how do you walk into a...
nuts.
Like, I was out of town one time, and I walked into... Somebody let me into a 24-hour fitness, and I didn't realize that it was, like, after hours.
Yeah.
So I'm, like, walking around. There's no staff. So I go into the bathroom, and I come back out, and I'm, like, walking around. I was like, there's no staff. I was like, I can't work out here.
Right.
Like, I just didn't feel right, so I left.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people would have just worked out. But, like, screw it, I got in free. Like, I was like, yeah, I got to go somewhere else. And
one of the best things that ever happened to me and a guy in our community is that I'll say his name wrong. It's Michael Della Plava. He does that Battle Axe gym down.
Della Plava. Yep.
This dude doesn't know me from fucking Adam. Doesn't know me at all. So I sent him a message a couple months prior. Said, hey, we're gonna be in Miami for a couple days. I'd love to come train at your place. We're gonna need a place to train anyhow, and your place looks awesome. He's like, just let me know when you get here, and you're more than welcome to. So we land in Miami. I sent him a message. I said, hey, we're in town. Mind if we come out tomorrow morning? He's like, man, he was somewhere. He was like, but he goes, I'll leave the front door open, come in, the light switch is here, hit the light switch, here's the
Nice.
garage door opener, and I'm like, well, what do I owe you? He's like, nothing, don't worry about it. So he leaves his fucking gym just open. I go in, me and Aaron train for an hour. We slipped some money. We opened his refrigerator. He's got like a bottle of 151 rum in there, so we slipped it under there, and it was so cool that this guy doesn't know me from anybody, and he was just like, yeah, come train. But you know, those are the kind of people that I love. You know, it's that you pay. That's why you pay them. You know, because they are such fucking awesome people.
And that's kind of the policy I have too with people, and that stems from I took a bunch of girls down to a comp in Fort Wayne, many years ago, but looking for somewhere to train, and someone told me about John O'Connor. Had never met the guy.
Yeah.
Facebook friends, but had never met him, and got a hold of him, and he said, "Oh yeah, go ahead. I won't be there, but my door code is." And I was like, "Whoa, you know."
You can go ahead and say his door code here. We'll really get in fucking trouble.
He just moved. But he.
Let's fuck Johnny.
But it was just super cool. It's like, here's my door code. Go on in.
Yeah.
Help yourself. Do whatever you want. And the same thing. What do I? Oh, don't worry about it. Just.
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, all right. And that was before I opened my gym. But that's when it.
I'd like to get Johnny on. We're never in the same place at the same time. And like the only last time I saw him was at your show in where the hell was that? Way up in Western Ohio. We did the Masters.
Battle of the Borders.
Yeah.
Montpelier, Ohio.
That was awesome. That show was badass.
That venue's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the few shows where I didn't mind sitting there all day. You know. I'm so glad I'm not doing t-shirts anymore, because I hated sitting at shows all day. I'm so antsy. I can't sit still for more than 5 minutes. You just sit there all day selling shit. It drove me nuts. What's going on with your t-shirt stuff? You're getting that back rolling.
Yeah, Craig. You met Craig. He came out and did your show.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He does designs and he does marketing, and he wants to get his own shirt business going. So I'm letting him use my stuff. Like, he's giving me a percentage of everything. You know, like he's renting my equipment, and then we decided to start doing BSS stuff again. So it's all going through him. And then like he gets kind of like what you were doing with your stuff, where somebody was doing your designs and they were getting.
And he does the design work too?
So he's doing the design work, and then and I'll help him print. So we're both printing, but he's doing like the stuff that I screwed up all the time, like the designs and the ordering and stuff like that. He's like, so he's way more on top of it. So yeah, we're gonna grow that a little bit, but that's gonna be more for him. Like, he's gonna take off with his own. But right now, since we can't be open and money's a little tighter, we're gonna run some extra BSS things. And
yeah, maybe I'll give you guys a holler, because we only do like Blind Dog shit now, you know. I mean, we might put out another Refined Savage shirt, but you know, that was such a pain in the ass. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like coming up with designs, and then
designs are tough.
They are, and I don't know what the fuck people like to wear. I wear the same goddamn thing every day.
Look at this shirt. Like, the shoulders are turning yellow.
Right.
Like,
you know, what I think is cool is not cool, and you know.
I always like the Refined Savage stuff.
That's because you dress like I do.
Well, yeah.
I get comments on mine all the time.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah,
when I stopped seeing it, I was like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah, everything was always black.
Yeah.
You know? I had one yellow T-shirt, which was like the biggest seller, but everything else was all black. Yeah, I wear the same goddamn thing every day, but
it's kind of fun. Like, what we're doing now is we're not going to keep like shirts on the website forever. Like, we're going to do pre-orders for everything, just because
that's the way to go.
Yeah. And I think, what was it, Flag Nor Fail or whatever, with Dalen Bailey. I think that's what they did. You could only get like so many, and then they would just totally eliminate the design forever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're not going to be them, but
you never know. I mean,
I mean, you don't really.
That guy, I don't know that much about that guy, but he's friends with Pulcinella, and he's friends with Matt Vincent. So I am like 3 degrees of separation from him, and they tell me stories about how that guy was like sleeping in his shop for years, like trying to get these T-shirts going. And the only thing I have bad to say about him is that his music is not my style. You know, I'm more of a Jimmy Buffett guy. But then again, my music taste is probably pretty shitty. He might be really good.
Yeah, they have a huge following though.
Yeah.
They have a really big following. Like, I don't really like their apparel, but that's my personal. But
Yeah.
they're doing really well, and yeah, they have a huge following.
I saw Matt yesterday had hate brand marijuana grinders in it, so now he's getting into
Wow.
that. He's branching out a little bit. I talked to him on the phone a couple months ago. Oh, it was right. We were supposed to get together at the Arnold, and then that became a big giant shit show, and that was rough for this because usually I get like 6 or 7 podcasts while the Arnold's in
That's
town.
because they're all in town. Yeah.
So I ended up only getting 2 that week because they just happened to be driving through here. But yeah, that was because I don't go near the Arnold. I just go to people's hotel rooms, and do the podcast there, so I don't have to actually go in there. But you were saying you went and pulled, right?
Yeah. At a gym because
Yeah.
I just didn't want to do the event anymore. Like, and that was like I was thinking about Half Thor wanting to pull the 501k, and he's gonna do it in his gym.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about it at the Arnold, like I didn't have the crowd. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna hit my number. Like, I don't know how he's gonna do it in the gym. Like, that takes a lot of mental, like.
You got enough members though. You could do like an event where you're just
You
gonna pull it in
could.
front of people.
Yeah, but it's still not the same.
No. Yeah.
Like that'll be interesting because I saw he yesterday did
470.
470. Was it 470? Which was.
I saw some video of him pulling it, and then they had somebody else pulling it, and they were doing a comparison of the two, but I didn't know who the
guy
other
in an
guy
orange
was.
suit. Like,
I don't know who that was.
Yeah, I don't know who that was either. I think he attempted it like a few months ago.
Yeah.
Like the 501 kilo, and he just totally missed. Like.
It's so fucking insane to me that guys are pulling that now.
Yeah.
It just 10, 15 years ago, that wouldn't even have been something. I mean, I think Instagram is what's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
There's more people showing what they can do on there. Yeah. I don't know. It's that's the one good thing about the social media shit is you get to show off a little bit in your own gym with no pressure on you.
Yeah.
Which is the way I do my best. I was a good thrower, but I was always a gym lifter for sure.
Even the recognition of, the audience you reach out to. My little brother lives in Los Angeles and had a Strength Depot sweatshirt, and some guy on the street was like, recognized the gym name and said, I want to get out there. And my brother's not a lifter, he's plays in a band, and he's like, do they hit, like the guy was asking questions, my brother's like, text him.
I don't know anything.
I just wear the shirt.
Right. It's a cool sweatshirt.
Yeah. What are you still CrossFit affiliate or what?
We are.
How many times have I told you just drop
Well, this was
that
supposed
shit?
to be our last year. Remember last time
right.
I don't remember why. Last year we decided to renew it, and I don't know what our reasoning was. But this year it's supposed to be our last year.
Yeah.
Because we don't really get anything out of it.
I'm wondering and
Oh, you know why? Because we're the only one left in our area. Like, there are no other CrossFits in our area. They all kind of.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, so there were 1, 2, 3. I want to say there were 5 of us.
Yeah.
And we were the second one to affiliate. And then the first one that was affiliated, they went under, but the owner was a pedophile, and like, people found out that he was a pedophile, and then it just kept spreading. So he just.
That CrossFit Kids class was probably.
Yeah, the CrossFit Kids class was a flop. And
That was the last day.
they were like across from Akron Children's Hospital,
Oh my
like literally
God.
like across the road. And I guess they had a big problem there, and
Well, yeah, that's a big problem for sure.
it's a huge problem. So they went under, and we got a lot of their members. This was a long time ago, and then another, I want to say maybe three or four popped up.
Yeah.
And then they hung around for a little bit, and then they went under. I mean, our area is really bad for gyms. We have an Orange Theory Fitness that I think is going to go under too.
Wow.
Like, Orange Theory Fitness, you can't screw that
You
up. That's
can't
like a
screw it up.
McDonald's,
Yeah,
you know?
that's
Like,
exactly right. Yep.
but they're not even doing so well. Like, people in our area are like want to be bodybuilders, so they go to the
Right.
YMCA and Planet Fitness.
Yeah, we don't have many. The only Orange Theories we have, I think, are more towards Cleveland. But yeah, I mean, they don't go out of business. Those people love that shit.
Yeah, so we figured we'd stay. We would do one more year and see if the affiliate did us any good, being that we're the only one left.
Yeah,
And I think we picked up like 2 or 3 people because of it, but
and they'll stick around.
they'll stick around forever, and we'll see. I think we're up at the end of the summer, and that'll be it.
See, my and this isn't my question. This was Aaron's question, and it was really something that that piqued my interest was, is CrossFit doing anything for its affiliates?
They're running the open. It's like an at-home open, and if people sign up for it, your gym gets like a percentage of it, but that's it.
But they're not like delaying people's
absolutely
affiliations.
Not that I know of. No,
that's so fucking bullshit, because they're the
Yeah.
big community. It's a community. We're a
We need to
community.
keep our-
We love
yeah.
you.
I feel they'll lose a lot of affiliates this year.
You'd think that, but those people are fucking stupid.
Yeah, I mean the gyms are going to go under. Many CrossFit gyms just suck.
Yeah.
They're not good at running. Like the owners were people that like CrossFit and they just open up a gym. And
I have been trying to tell. I was talking to a woman at our Highlander last year, and I said, "Oh, I got to get you on the podcast," and she goes, "Oh no, you don't like CrossFit." And I said, "Look." And then another affiliate owner was sitting right next to her. I said, "You don't understand that you are CrossFit." And I pointed at the affiliate owner. I said, "And you are CrossFit. You are what makes that great, not the fucking headquarters that tells you they're making you great. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
They just don't. They just don't understand that what makes a CrossFit affiliate great is the community and the coaches and the owners. It's not anything from headquarters that you're paying for. They just will not figure it out. I don't know. They're gonna lose a ton.
Oh, a lot of those gyms are gonna be done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know when we moved into our new location, I started calling other local gyms just to let them know, hey, I'm looking at this spot. Is that okay with you? Not that I need their approval, but
I don't want to step on your toes.
Yeah.
And I remember just in Plymouth alone, there were 3 different CrossFits in there. One that was a block away from us that I'd never even heard of before. And it was when I talked to them, they just said there's no money to be had in coaching, so these coaches, get good and then say, well, I'll just open my own box because that's where the money's at.
That's what they do.
And then it gets so watered down. And
well, that's when we opened, and Tom Reaney, who is a buddy of mine, he hadn't opened yet. But what you had was this CrossFit OG guy here in town. You had 2 of them. So one guy was like in California with Glassman back in the day, and he had a successful one going, and then you had this other guy out in Cleveland, and he had a successful one going. But everyone in this area were coaches at one of those 2 boxes for years, and they all broke off and opened their own gym. So you had this like Xerox copies of copies going all over the place. And then we opened, and we were the only ones who came from a totally different background. And then Tom Reaney, who is a Black Flag, he owns Black Flag, and he's doing really well. He's probably doing the best in the area, but I think it's because he's original. He's doing his own thing. But you get these coaches who break off and become owners. And matter of fact, that's how I first found out about you. Is you put out like a fucking rant on Facebook years ago talking about how people you were just going to do t-shirts. You were tired
I was pissed.
And it was it's so out of character for you because it was a rant.
I was pissed.
Do you remember the background behind that? Because that's how I became aware of Shawn Schumaker.
We had our gym, and then we decided to, like, I was talking to one of my coaches, and I was like, hey, you know what, like, we're getting to the point where I would like to open up a second location. I want to start looking at these places, like, across town.
Yeah.
And we talked about it a few times. And one of my members, like, he's got, like, his own business, and he's his own nursing business. He's like, he overheard me, he's like, I'd like to invest in you opening up. And, like, we talked about it. He's like, yeah, just invest, So I actually bought out the CrossFit that closed, the pedophiles CrossFit, and I bought all of his
CrossFit pedophile.
we bought all of his equipment and put it into this new location. We started up and we went in halves on the business, and then as soon as the doors opened, the dude, like, totally different person. Like, this is my gym. Like, he was telling me how to run it. I was like, you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. Like, this. You're just the dude that likes to exercise. Yeah. Now you're telling me how to run a gym, and we've been running gyms for years.
Right.
And then that just kind of escalated. And one day I just called him, and I was like, you know what, we're done. I was like, I'm gonna call the attorney. He's gonna cancel everything, and that's it. And, like, he was kind of like silent.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. And then, like, yeah, we just dropped it.
Was he able to keep going, or?
He kept going, and then he realized how bad it sucked
Yeah.
to run a gym, and, like, he was losing a lot of money. And, like, what I told him was I was making a small profit at our gym, and then I went from making a small profit. We were living in a shed.
I remember that.
Yeah, we lived in a shed for a while.
You're not bullshitting. You were living in a shed.
I was legitimately living in a shed, yeah.
Treehouse.
Yeah, basically. And I took the profit that I was making, and now I'm losing money.
Yeah.
Because now I have 2 gyms, and I'm telling him, we're running 2 gyms off of the one gym's income, because you have like 10 members.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, I'm losing money. And he walked in one day and he was mad because he didn't get to buy his new 4-door Jeep. And I was like, fuck off, man. I'm living in a shed with, like, a 1-year-old child. Like, so, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So we just ended it.
The one piece of business advice I got from Pulcinella, I always tell people, if you want to open a gym, you have to follow Steve Pulcinella for 1 year on Facebook and hear him rant. But he told me, he said, don't get involved with anybody. Do it yourself, because your vision is never going to be the same as their vision, and it's going to be an argument eventually. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the things I took to heart, you know. And
yeah, and that was the thing with us. Like, he was supposed to be an investor.
Yeah.
But then it became his, and then he just got really weird, and it turned into a different gym. And so, yeah, he realized how bad it sucked, and he's letting another coach, one of his coaches, run it. And I don't know how it's going now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, the other thing is we thought about opening up a second location closer to Cleveland, too. Same thing. Mm-hmm. Everything was going great. Let's open up a second location. And, you know, Erin told me, she goes, you're the gym. So now you're going to be splitting yourself between 2 different gyms, and you're going to have other coaches helping out. But, you know, people want to be trained by you. There's people here who won't squat unless I'm spotting them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just the way they are. And I said, yeah, you're right. I could just see that same thing happening. We were going to open up a second business, and one of them was going to fail. You know?
And I mean, that's one of the things that happened. We had members that were going to that gym because it's now closer to their house.
Yeah.
So I want to say almost all of his 10 members were original members from my gym that were now going there because it was closer to where they lived.
Yeah.
Well, when they found out we split, they all came back.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't stay. And it was kind of like I'm the gym, just like, you know, with you, if you were to split, and then they'd all come back to you.
Right. Yeah.
So
we've had several people, even in the last 2 years, say, let's open a second location. I'll fund it. And I just because of everything you guys just said.
Don't do it.
I don't think, you know, just the name isn't going to sustain.
Mm-mm.
You have an interesting business model for your place, though. You have the I don't give a fuck business model. Like, you don't care if you get a dime out of it. Right. You just have a big playground for people.
Yeah. And therefore we can be a little bit more picky with people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we advertise as being full, and we probably always have 1 or 2 spots that could be filled with the right person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and we've had guys come in that were just total douchebags. I mean, you could just tell.
Yeah. You don't want that.
And I said, yeah, we don't have it. And then I've gotten a couple text messages saying, you really fucked up. You know, I was going to bring 4 of my buddies. And I'm like, I don't need your money.
Yeah.
And you'd have been fucking eaten alive in a week. So.
And we don't need you to ruin the gym.
Right.
Like,
we've been lucky. Right now, we had a guy leave, and he doesn't know. He probably knows I don't like him, but he left a little while ago. But he's the last guy to leave who I was just like, fuck, every time he walked in the gym. You know, just a poison to the whole place. And right now, you know, it's pretty good. There's nobody in here that irritates me, which is amazing when you have 100 people that you think someone's going to piss you off, but it's really pretty good. And you're always wondering, every new person that comes in, are you going to be part of the family, or are you going to pain in my ass? And I haven't had to have too many. I've fired coaches, but I haven't had too many member come to Jesus meetings, you know.
You've been pretty good too.
Yeah, we had a girl one time who was driving me nuts. She came from some CrossFit gym in Cincinnati, and it was just done the way she did. You know, she expected it to be done just the way they did, and we did it totally opposite. And I literally brought her in, had to sit down and said, look, this is the way we do things, and I know it's not the same, but you're in a different gym. You know, we do things differently. You know, we weren't teaching the Olympic lifts, and she didn't like that. I'm like, so you have a choice. You can either go to a more traditional CrossFit gym, or you can stay here and enjoy what we do. And it was kind of like flipping a switch. And she was like, oh, okay, well, and then she was great after that.
With CrossFit people, sometimes you get them in, and just because it's not the way they do it, they think it's wrong.
Yeah.
And that we struggled with that too. Well, people drop in from like out of town, and like I'll explain to them, look, we're not what you're expecting to get when you walk in here. I was like, this is an open gym. We do CrossFit, but we're not a CrossFit gym.
Yeah.
So if you want to come in and usually they're pretty good, but we've had a lot of trouble with, problems with people coming in from other CrossFit gyms and expecting something, and they're like, you guys, no, like everybody here's a great athlete. Like, we're not doing it wrong.
Where's your Kill Cliff bar where you can get different flavors of Kill Cliff?
And that was my angle when I went from having everything in my garage.
Yeah.
And I started looking for space. I was like, well, maybe I'll hit up a couple CrossFit gyms that I'd seen on social media that had huge buildings but 30 members.
Yeah.
And I set up meetings with the owners and said, hey, here's what I can bring. I'll even run a strongman class.
Yeah.
2 days, and that will set you apart from the other 5 people that I'm going to go talk to in the next, couple days. And every one of them, there were a couple that were interested but had very strict guidelines. I couldn't have a key to the building. I couldn't do this, and
it doesn't surprise me at all.
It blew my mind. And then once we opened our gym and it started taking off, then I was getting some of the calls going, oh, I wish we would have done this. I'm like, you had every opportunity to do it.
There's so many people who have had that story. Either they get fully rejected, or they get in, and then the CrossFit people either get super jealous, or it's just, they're not used to dealing with meatheads, and it's messy and dirty, and they want to get rid of them. That's happened to so many people.
I did a couple different events at CrossFit gyms, just like strongman clinics, and everybody wants to hang clean a log, and I'm like, that's not the way to do it. And then I would show them, and they're like, no, and I'm like, that's probably a good idea. I didn't come in here.
There's something fishy, because did you ever go to a CrossFit strongman cert or?
No, but Brandy and Ashley did. Yeah, the Rob Orlando certification. Yeah.
So it's really, really odd. So we hosted one here, and I was going back and forth with Orlando about, because we were at CrossFit at the time, and I was like, maybe getting on the cert, and he was, this sounds great, we'll give you a tryout, and so he has his guys come in and do the cert, and I'm watching a lot of their shit, and I'm like, I don't know about this, but and we get to the Atlas Stones, and they're showing that crazy way where they, like, with their biceps.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the fuck can you teach it that way? Especially because Rob's an ex-strongman guy.
Yeah.
So I kind of took the guy aside and said, well, should we teach them to go over top so they're not blowing out biceps? They would not teach it that way. So they had me teach the stones, and they made a special, like, thing to the class where they said, Mark's going to teach you how to do this, but this isn't part of CrossFit Strongman, and this is a different technique, but it's not what we do. So there's something weird about why they won't teach things a certain way, but I would never teach my people to lift, with those fingers up, pulling a stone up to your. I don't know what. There's so many weird legal things that they do, gymnastics that they do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's another thing is a CrossFit gym is going to have a hard time letting a strongman come in there and teach a class if it's not CrossFit Strongman. They'll get shit for that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll come and rat you out for sure. Yeah, we had a CrossFit Kids class that I didn't know that was a specific thing. I just thought we're a CrossFit now. We have a kids class, so we'll have CrossFit Kids, and they
go after you over that.
Oh yeah, they let me know.
Yeah, because we had a CrossFit Kids coach, and we ran CrossFit. I didn't know you had to have an actual, but yeah, we ran our CrossFit Kids class was really popular for a while.
Yeah.
We'd have like 30, 40 kids in there at one time. It was madness. I don't know how the coach even ran the class, but yeah.
Yeah, they went after us for a bunch of stuff. They threatened to sue us before we were actually a CrossFit. So we paid all our affiliate fees, and we got word, okay, we got your affiliate fees. I'm like, great. So I posted on social media, Blind Dog CrossFit. And immediately, like maybe a day later, I get an email from them saying that we had a cease and desist. And I'm like, I just paid you $3,000. They're like, well, it hasn't officially been approved yet, so you can't. So then we had to wait a couple more days. They sent us the email that we were official. Then we could get. So then, a couple months later, we do the CrossFit Kids thing, not knowing that you have to do it. Get another email from them, cease and desist, and you have to have some, CrossFit Kids.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So then I just changed it to the kids class because I'm
Yeah.
not going to pay some dork to come in and be the CrossFit Kids coach and have him be a pedophile or something.
Yeah.
And then what else did we get in trouble for? Oh, then the big one was once we de-affiliated, I started this podcast, and the reason why it split from Blind Dog and became Refined Savage was I was posting on the Blind Dog page that we had this podcast, and we had Lindsay Nelson on, Lindsay Kelly, I don't know what she goes, I think it's Lindsay Nelson now. And she was on CrossFit Conjugate Black that took second at the CrossFit Games. So we had her on the show. It was a great interview. And then in the Instagram thing, I tagged it CrossFit Girls. And I get a letter saying they're going to sue me for it. I said, well, I'll just take it down. And then they sent me another one back saying, well, we've gone through all your social media in the past, and we see that you're using a CrossFit tag. And I said, no. I said, look, we haven't used it since we de-affiliated over a year ago. And they go, no, you have to go back through all your old social media and take that out of anywhere you were using it. I said, so you want me to go back for like 3 years through every bit of my social media and take out anything that said CrossFit? And they were like, yeah. I said, should I collect all the T-shirts and business cards I handed out too? And at that point, they stopped talking to me. And I talked to our friend who's a lawyer, and he was like, yeah, you definitely win this case, but it'll cost you millions.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it. So I just shut down that old social media and started a different one with no CrossFit on it of any kind. But that's the kind of shit that I have a problem with, those guys.
I wonder if one of the local gyms were telling on you.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Because, that's a lot of shit to be getting out of, in a little bit of time.
Yeah, there was people. There was a lot of ratting out. I'm sure there's a lot of ratting out goes on everywhere. But you see all these things like there's Instagram pages that are like CrossFit this, CrossFit that. They have no affiliation with CrossFit. No one says shit to them. Yeah, I don't know. Who cares? What are you gonna compete anymore or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna sign this time off. Forcing me to get healthy, so I'm gonna look ahead. And there was one in Georgia in August that I was looking at, but with everything being up in the air. But
August seems to be the time when everyone feels safe enough to bring it back.
And I was supposed to do that powerlifting meet.
Yeah.
In March, the Hope Kids. That.
You kept blowing out your hamstrings.
Yeah, but my squat was still doing really well. So
I remember posting on one of your things. I'm like, you know what you should do? Just keep squatting and deadlifting heavy, and maybe your hamstring will shoot across the room. So make sure you get it on film.
The guy that came out, John Pinlay, looked at my hamstring and he said, "Yeah, you're good." And he told me, "Go ahead and squat. Like that's not going to affect you." I said, "You sure?" He goes, "Oh yeah, go ahead. Just squat like normal, but be careful with." Showed me a bunch of exercises and don't deadlift. And so the next day I squatted, and I think it was 455 for 3, and woke up to a text from him going, "Are you fucking stupid?" And I go, "You literally said squat like normal. That was my program." And he's like, "Well, all right, let's dial it back a little bit."
Here's a kettlebell. I meant goblet squats. Yeah, I'm done 100%. I'm just I'm enjoying being on the outside of it, and I just can't. The heavy shit just doesn't do it for me. I just can't. It was just beating me up too much, But I still like training. I just don't want to compete anymore. Too much.
I like a lot of the coaching and a lot of the. So I started doing that kids bullying class.
Yeah.
One night, which just blew up, and just seeing the kids go from. The first week, there were 2 kids in the hallway crying because they didn't want to come in.
Yeah.
And then the next week, you couldn't get them to leave. We're like,
Right.
It's
I'm
kinda
like,
nice.
hey, your dad's here, and they're like, can I go do this? Can I show my dad? I'm like, yeah, okay, go show.
Yeah.
your
So what are
dad
you guys
that."
doing on that? I saw that you were putting it together. I didn't know what you guys were doing.
Yeah, the first week I think we had like 8 kids, and I just did basic warm up stretching, and then did some trap bar deadlifts with, kids were all going way over their head.
Well, yeah.
And one of the first kids, and it wasn't that much, I forget how much weight it was, but he was 12 years old. And so he goes, like went down on one knee and held his back, and I'm like, and we're done.
Here we go. Here comes
That was fun
Shut
while
it
it lasted.
down.
Yep.
But and then his dad was actually used to be a member. He was a firefighter, and I told him, I'm like, hey, listen, let me know how. And he goes, don't fucking worry about it. He goes, that kid. And I'm like, okay, as long as we're good. But and then the first week was kind of just like a trial run through. I did it as an anti-bullying and then kind of the next day kind of sat down, and a couple of the kids needed it. There were a couple kids in there who were studs, and I kept saying, I can't believe you get bullied. Like the one kid flipped a 550 tire.
Wow.
He's 14 or 15 years old, and he's like, how much is this? And the writing was on the underside. And I'm like, I think that's the 400. And he flipped it, and as it landed, I go, holy shit! that was pretty good.
Nice.
But and I kept telling that kid, be a leader. Let these kids, they're gonna look up to you. And the kid whose dad works at the hot rod shop, his dad said he's gonna run out of there crying. I guarantee it. So the kid's doing backward sled drag for warm up, and falls on his butt. And I knew that was. And I said, Brandon, the big 15-year-old strong kid, he goes, get up, let's go. And the kid who fell on his butt, eyes got real big, looked around, jumped and finished, and came back, and everybody high-fived him. And I'm like, that's exactly, why we're here. So it was pretty cool. And then once I had to cancel, all the parents were texting me going, let me know as soon as this comes back up, let me know.
Good.
And the kid who was crying in the hall the week before was crying because he couldn't come do it. So
it's an interesting concept. I've never heard anybody else doing that.
And the first week I did it I didn't really have anything in mind as far as sitting down and talking with the kids, and it was just anti-bullying by name, and then kind of told a couple stories of this was me as a kid. Here's and you could tell it really connected to a lot of them. So
that's good.
It was really cool.
Well, why did you end up starting?
My kid gets bullied a little bit at school. And
No. Why did you, as a human, when did you start?
Start lifting?
Yeah.
I actually went to college to play basketball, and I was 145 pounds.
I don't see that.
Nobody does. But I grew up in the sticks of Ohio, so I realized pretty quickly when I got to Toledo that I was good because they're.
Did you go to UT?
Owens Community College.
Oh, okay.
But
we would have ran into each other.
There weren't many black kids where I grew up.
That's a game changer. Black kids are a game changer.
I was really good. You've heard of the comedian Jim Jeffries?
Yeah.
So when he was talking about the steroids in baseball, and they wanted to put an asterisk next to Barry Bonds' records, and Jim Jeffries goes, who should have an asterisk next to their records? The guys who played before black people played.
Right.
Like that's who should have asterisks. But I remember at Owens, Jeff Massey was the point guard who played high school ball with Sean Kemp.
Okay.
If anybody remembers him, and I remember I was guarding him, and he literally spun baseline and dunked, and I remember calling my parents going, because there were a couple open scholarship positions, and I said, we're going to be paying for school.
Right.
That open invite is not going so well. So.
That's funny. I fuck with Hayden about that all the time because he's talking about how good his basketball team at his high school is, and I was like, they play schools with black kids on them yet? No? Okay, we'll wait till the playoffs. As soon as they got the playoffs, they got annihilated. Kids are dunking on them.
So then my first 2 years of school, I went for criminal justice. And I
was there with you. The easiest degree possible.
Yep. But one of our instructors was a young, I'm not sure if he was a Lucas County sheriff or one of them, younger guy, and he taught like all the self-defense classes and stuff like that. And we started training with him out of his garage, and he was a Krav Maga guy, but like real Krav, not the kind that they have house moms doing now.
Right.
That's water
fitness Krav
But he
Maga.
was
teaching you to stab guys in the throat back then.
And he was telling shit like, it only takes 18 pounds of pressure to rip off somebody's ear, like crazy shit. And he's like, it's amazing how quick guys are to submit once you're holding their ear. And I'm like, you're a nut. That's crazy. But then we would do some Krav Maga, and then he had just a basic weight bench and stuff. And I was, like I said, 145, 150 pound 18-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, you're actually pretty strong. And I said, I've never done this before, and was teaching us some things, and just kind of stuck around. And then kid was born while I was still in college, and was just going to Lifetime Fitness to play basketball pretty much. And that got, so as that Lifetime built up, in between games, we'd go upstairs, and like I probably was there 9 months before I knew there were weights upstairs.
Yeah, right.
And then the more I started going up there and lifting, kind of got hooked a little bit. So.
And your son having issues is kind of why you started the bullying program?
Yeah, that, and then I was talking about it at work one day, and it was amazing to me how many other parents were talking about, oh yeah, my son comes home, and you know, a lot of schools we're zero tolerance, we're zero, but then they said, we've talked to the school, and they don't really do anything about it. So
it's tough, man, because I've said I learned more from bullies growing up than I did from teachers in school, you know, but you got to protect some kids, and then other kids you got to let handle shit, you know.
And my message to him was, there's always going to be bullies from the time you're 8 to the time you're 50. There's always going to be, but you just have to, you control your perception of you. You can't let somebody else's, you know, if somebody says, you know, and I even took my hat off and I said, I get teased because I'm bald, you know, or this or that, and I go, if somebody tells me I'm bald.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't diminish my self-esteem or my thought of myself. And one of the kids, I said, you get picked on because you have glasses? He has big, thick glasses. He goes, yeah. And I go, so you need glasses?
Yeah.
It doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't, you know.
Yeah.
And then you could tell he was kind of nodding his head, and so we turned it into from anti-bullying to more of a self-esteem. You know,
right.
Yeah. I think that's the best approach anyway.
Even having bullying in the title gives them a little bit too much credit. So.
Yeah. Right.
It was, but yeah, just we did it 3 weeks, but even those 3 weeks, the kids, the first kid who was kind of folded hands and head down, the third week came up and tugged on my shirt and said, come watch me deadlift. And I'm like, all right, went over there and watched him deadlift. So
more power to you. You do so many good things like that. I have no patience for anybody. And so you give me kids or anything like that, like you do Special Olympics and stuff. I had one of my best friends from high school was going to bring in this kid who was pretty, I don't know, what is it, profoundly autistic, and she was asking me, and I said, look, I would love to do it, but I know my limitations, and I don't have that patience to work with kids like that. I know me, I'll get super frustrated, and my poor son over the years has had to deal with me, you know, trying to show him how to ride a bike was fucking ridiculous, you know.
Mason was helping me paint plates last night.
Yeah.
And he messed one of them up, and I'm like, come on. And then we got done, we were letting him dry, and he had his Nintendo Switch in his hand. And he said, you didn't clean out your butt. And he knocked over the tray that had paint in it. I'm like, God damn, because I fucking went off on him, and he just walked away, and he goes, this is why we don't do things together.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm starting to teach Hayden to drive now, and I'm flashing back to try to, when I was teaching him how to ride a bike, and I'm like, okay, don't be a dick. Be patient. His friend ran into a tree the other night with their car. His dad was teaching him how, and he got the gas and the brake mixed up. Bam.
So instead of slowing down, he accelerated.
That's exactly what he did. So Hayden's telling me about it. I'm like, well, you know, that shit happens. You know, you're going to run into something. Like, trying to get in my head right off the bat, he's going to fucking wreck your car at some point. Just deal with it. But yeah, I'm a mental patient when it comes to this shit. I'm the worst person that should have been a dad. I should never have been a dad. I just don't have the patience to do it, you know. He's thank God for Aaron. Aaron keeps him centered. I take zero credit for that kid. So, I don't know. Well, we gonna get some stones loaded up here or what?
Yeah.
Get you back on the road.
I got that big one, so I'm glad Shawn's here.
Yeah. I'd like to invite you guys out to dinner or something, but that's not exactly possible right now. So hopefully the next time we talk, we're back in business.
Yeah,
hope so.
Really.
All right, that's it. Shane Rickman, Shawn Schumaker. This has been The Refined Savage. See you.